All right, how's it going, Josh?
It's going good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I think I just yelled. So, yeah, at the house today with my son. So you might hear him in the background, but we're going to do this episode. Looking forward to it. Third in the series, right?
Yep, this is number 3 of 5.
Covering what? I forgot.
Pay-per-click and how it is a really good fit in most real estate investor businesses, kind of the hows, the what's, the whys, and kind of doing a deeper dive into it so that people have a better understanding and a better foundation should they choose to use it as a part of their lead generation machines.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't really forget. I was just leading you into a question so that you could answer it in your own way. Because that's what we do. All right. So the other two episodes, if anybody out there is listening, hasn't heard those, definitely go check them out. Started with episode 150 and 151. This will be 152. And then we're going to have two more, right?
Yep, that's right. 2 more after this.
Awesome. So this is really covering deep dive into all of that. And let's get started on this one with first, we have to do it just to lighten the mood a little bit, not get straight into PPC and a lot of that stuff. We had lunch the other day, and we're talking about the situations encountered when visiting some of these motivated seller homes and just the odd occurrences, the number of occurrences of going to a home where somebody is like in some dark, weird room working out while we're looking at the house. And both of us have experience of that. And you had told me one, you care to share it with everybody?
Yeah, no, I went on an appointment. I got there and I was immediately greeted at the door by this shirtless, flip-flop wearing man who was in the middle of a workout. Like, he was really sweaty. I didn't know what he had just finished doing, and got his grandma over to the door, so it was her house. He proceeds to go into the kitchen, put some chickens in the roaster, goes into a back room that's very dimly lit, no windows or anything, that's got like the concrete weight set in it.
Love those.
Starts pumping iron, and every now and then he would come out and, like, I guess, check on us, see how we're doing. And just to put icing on the cake, the whole time that I was walking through the property, doing the analysis, talking to the grandma, she had just the most vicious chihuahua who literally ate the back of my pants off, like from the leg all the way up to the knee, just started chewing through them. I think he knew. I feel like he knew that he didn't have to, like, keep an eye on me walking through the house because this dog was going to do it for him. So he just proceeded to pump iron and roast chicken. And it was one of the weirdest experiences ever, because you don't expect to get greeted by the door by a shirtless, sweaty man.
Right.
First thing. But then to casually, like, have your clothes eaten off while this dude's lifting weights in the back room, and the grandma this is her every day. Like, this is normal life for her.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I thought you said casually, like your pants casually eaten off.
Yeah, no, just like it was nothing. Just that's Thursday.
That's Thursday. So everybody's wondering probably, did you get the contract?
Did not get the contract on that one immediately, but I think we might have actually sewn it up during a follow-up.
Okay, cool. Well, either way, we still win because we get to hear that story, and it was pretty amazing. So thank you for sharing it. Let's get into the PPC. And anybody watching on YouTube, I've got my son Weston here, so that's who that is in the video. He's going to be shy not to mention him. All right, and let's start with, why would somebody want to use Google Ads?
Yeah, so in this episode, I mean, we're really covering the why. So why would this be a good fit for new investors? Why would this be a good fit for experienced ones? And all the main points kind of tie together. So, I mean, first and foremost, it's your inbound versus outbound marketing. So if I use direct mail as an example a lot, but this goes for, bandit signs and anything else that you have to go out there and physically put work into. It's kind of that spray and pray methodology. You can be targeted at a zip code level, you can be mailing to a list, but ultimately not everybody who's on that list that you're doing this marketing for needs to sell a home. it's almost like wasted effort being put into that. Now you do get leads and you do get contracts out of that. And some people have nailed and scaled that. But when you're focused on inbound marketing, it kind of flips the table as far as how much effort you have to put into it to maintain it, but also the types of leads that come in. So I think we covered this previously. You know, you become the hero in those situations where somebody has a problem and they're reaching out to you. A lot of the times, I mean, for the majority of people who are getting those direct mail pieces or calls that are coming in from the city about your signs, it's a lot of negativity. It's a lot of really raunchy voicemails.
Yeah.
Um,
Angry voicemails.
yeah. And
Well, they shouldn't be voicemails. They should be calls, because everybody should be live answering their calls. And that makes it even worse, because it's tempting to fire back, but, you know, just to let them, you know, rage for 10 minutes. It can be pretty interesting too, right? There's been some interesting stuff that comes out of some of those rages when they start realizing that they're that they've been doing it for 10 minutes. But anyway, I'm trying to paint a good picture on the angry voicemails.
yeah. And
Calls.
but when you're the hero in that situation, there's people that are reaching out to you. They want to use your service. They want to take advantage of this thing that you're offering specifically to them. And it just makes for better leads. So whether you're new or experienced, generating those better leads and getting more of the right kind of customers reaching out to you could be a really powerful thing. There are some platform specific benefits that come with this also. So you might have a really good farming area, let's say with direct mail, knocking on doors, like that you find a lot of success with. You can accomplish the same thing using a platform like Google Ads also, because you can target anything as large as a state or anything as small as a zip code. So if you're brand new getting into a market and you're using something like a pay-per-click platform to market, you can start out casting like a really broad net, right? But that's not where you want to stay, because not every area in the city is somewhere that you want to spend that marketing dollar on. An example would be like overspending or paying for clicks in a war zone where you know you're not going to be able to turn that home over, or paying for clicks in areas where it's all going to be retail based. There's not going to be any kind of spread on those homes. So if you know your area and your zip code, though, like an experienced investor should, you can start with targeting zip codes specifically and only show your ads in those areas.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful. So how does it determine? It's basically determine who's doing the search from that zip code, right?
Yeah, it's IP based. So they can determine based off of zip code boundaries that are laid out by Google Ads where a search is coming from. And if that's part of your target area, then it'll populate your ad there. If you exclude like every one of the surrounding zip codes, it'll only show an ad there. It won't flood over into any of those other ones that are surrounding that one. So you can be pretty precise with how you're targeting.
Awesome. Yeah, that's super, super beneficial. And then, you know, what the other benefit is that you can do this pretty quick, right? Like those leads can start coming in, you know, pretty quickly. It's way different than waiting for organic rankings, right? Because you're basically telling Google, I'm willing to pay for people clicking on these ads if you put me on the first page up at the top right away.
Yeah. So with running Google Ads, you can get results as quickly as 14 to 21 days, provided you have the right budgetary resources set aside, you have your areas nailed down, you have your keywords and ads ready to go. You can launch a campaign and you can start getting results within the same month. There's no waiting like the 6 to 8 months to see your organic rankings come in. Most of the time when you go to rank organically somewhere, there's like a minimum of a 6 to 8 month wait before you hit page number 1. And even then, it's not until you get into like the top 5 spots that you actually start to see the lion's share of the leads coming in. So you could be ranking on page number 2 and maybe get a few leads now and then, but it's not going to create that return on investment as quickly as Google Ads can. With a platform like that, you can start generating the leads that are going to turn into deals like within that first month. So that's a pretty powerful thing for people that are just getting started, who just need lead generation. Like they need something to work now. Google Ads is the way to go for that. For somebody who's more experienced in the industry, they might already have a website ranking. So why would you need Google Ads? There was a statistic that came out in 2018, and I'll have to see about tracking it down and maybe sharing it on social. But when there's a top ranking website that also has an ad that shows up at the top of the page, there was like a 60% increase in the overall number of conversions that happen for that website versus just having one or the other at the top of page number one.
Wow, I wasn't aware of that statistic. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so if you already have an organic result, like you've effectively done search engine optimization, you're up there at the top and you're getting leads, you could increase the number of conversions that you're getting just by having a successfully run ad campaign at the top of the page too. So it's not like a one or the other kind of situation. Having both definitely still benefits a successful online marketing campaign.
Nice. And when you were talking about how quickly, that you can do it much more quickly, get those leads start coming in, and being those higher quality ones. So it's not just leads coming in, but actual ones where people are looking for somebody like you to make an offer to buy their house. That's huge. I mean, Melissa and I spent 6 or 9 months even, I think, finding our first deal. And so if the means are there to pay for the ads to do this, I mean, you could shortcut that time if you were able and capable enough to be able to get those appointments set and make those offers and put those things in the contract. That's just a huge shortcut in there to getting that first deal.
Yeah. And the quicker you start generating those leads and turning them into deals, the quicker you see that return on investment that you can then put back into pay-per-click in order to expand those results that you're getting. You might even use it to pay for a search engine optimization strategy so that you can take that off of your plate also. So there's a lot that getting that revenue generated quickly can do for you, other than building up like that I'm actually going somewhere and moving and shaking feeling. There's practical application that can justify running that Google Ads campaign and growing your online marketing.
Yeah, I love that. So how does this impact a real estate investor business regarding return on investment?
So a lot of people jumping in and getting started with online marketing, one of the biggest concerns is like, how do I control it? It seems like this big black box that you just shove resources into and sometimes stuff comes out of that's good. With Google Ads specifically, and I guess pay-per-click advertising in general, it's very controllable. So everything that goes on inside of Google Ads has a search tied to it, has a number tied to it, and has an expected result tied to it also. So this is something that you can manage day to day and actively control the results of. And that's like one of the biggest things to overcome getting started is it looks like this big daunting thing that's hard to do. And it can be pretty complicated, but it's doable and it's manageable. And it's something that you can determine what your best return on investment is all the way down to like a keyword level. So it's this controllable part of your marketing that can continue to get better and better over time. So let's say you get 3 months into it and you have a consistent deal flow going and you're happy with it. That doesn't mean that it can't get any better. That just means that you're happy with where it's at. If you look at the numbers and you understand them and you continue to work on them, you can get an even higher return on investment over time by staying on top of that, not just by letting it stagnate.
Yeah, and I hope everybody out there is seeing how powerful that is. I mean, that's not even possible for most other marketing methods to get to where you're measuring every single thing that's happening every step of the way. It's just not doable other than online. I mean, there's probably some ways that you can try to do that with direct mail and some of these other things, but like this just gives you so much information, so much data to be able to figure out what's going on where. And like you said, down to the keyword level even, it's just amazing. And it's just not, it's not been possible before, but it is possible now. So that's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of other marketing sources, you can get pretty close, but it's all manually done, right? something like a pay-per-click platform will automatically calculate all this out for you. You just need to understand how that data is represented and what changes you need to make to impact that kind of stuff. But the actual calculating of those results is done for you. So it saves a lot of time in that respect too.
All right. So, for anybody out there considering doing this themselves, why would you, have somebody manage Google Ads for you?
The biggest thing is just time. So most people that I regularly interact with that are in real estate investing, the whole reason they got into it was because they wanted to save time. They want more time to themselves so that they can do more of the things that they like to do. They want to eventually get to a point where their business will operate without them because they have the right people in place, they have the right processes in place, and that frees them up to go and live their lives. And so when you get something that's professionally managed by somebody that knows how to do it, you're making an investment in that time that you're going to be saving. And it's almost an instant return, because at that point, you don't have to worry about becoming an online marketer. You don't have to worry about becoming a search engine optimization expert. You can spend that time being a real estate investor and building that business that's going to allow you to be able to get out of that business and have it operate without you. And so leveraging resources and people regarding online marketing to be able to do that is just a huge time saver, because this, managing a Google Ads account is a full-time job, especially when you're just getting started and trying to learn how to figure that out.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to do it, and you have to spend the time learning what works and what doesn't work for you. And with a lot of the accounts that we manage, we're able to leverage years and years worth of experience on what works and what doesn't work and plug that in. So you're already starting out with something that's literally years ahead of where you could be otherwise. So that's the time saved is just a huge benefit.
Do you have a Google Analytics, or not Analytics, a Google Ads book there in the office with you right now?
Yeah, it's advanced Google Ads. It's the first thing that I read when getting started with this.
Yeah, I wanted to just show it in the video if anybody's watching on YouTube, youtube.com/FlippingJunkie. Just saying, it's you can, if this interests you, if you like grabbing a book like this and going through that is something that you find fascinating, interesting, and put you in a state of flow. That's it's pretty complicated and detailed, but if you love that, that's definitely there. And that's a great book. I'm sure there's updated ones as well.
Yeah, it's Advanced Google AdWords. I have the third edition by Brad Geddes, Geddes. That's a winner because it dives into the basic things, but it also gets into some of the more advanced things that you can do to more effectively manage your account. The thing is, though, definitely look to see if they have a newer edition, because the platform's not even called Google AdWords anymore. It's Google Ads. And the interface is actually 100% different now. It's brand new. So you definitely want to see if there's a newer edition out there, but the principles in there still apply.
Yeah, and with regards to managing it yourself versus, having somebody like Lead Propeller Fuel with Josh here manage it, it's looking at it like saving money being the contractor on your own rehabs. You might think, well, I can save a bunch of money by just doing this work myself. And it's like, you find out pretty quickly how flawed that thinking is. But if you love it and that's what makes you happy, obviously do it, right? Because that's, it's all about us being happy and do what we want to do. So, same thing here. If this kind of thing, if you geek out on these numbers and these algorithms and all that kind of stuff, go for it. But if you're not that type of person and that kind of stresses you out and makes you think, well, I don't want to have to figure it out. I've tried before and it was just overwhelming. I didn't like it. Then just consider something like that. And there's several different companies out there that do it. And obviously we do here with Josh. And Josh, if anybody out there, we still have some open slots, right? So if anybody out there wants to talk with you about that, how should they get in touch with you?
Yep. So as of the last episode, we had 20 available and we're down to 17. So it's definitely going quick. So if you want to get in touch and learn more about it, you can email me directly at josh@leadpropeller.com. you can tweet at Lead Propeller, or you can email services@leadpropeller.com also. That's another one that goes straight over to me, but it'll immediately flag you as interested in online marketing services. And then we can go from there. We'll get a conversation started and see what it is that we can do for you. Because it's not like a one solution fits all kind of thing for us. It's custom catered to the results that you want to see. So it does start as a conversation, but we can quickly get you onboarded and get started getting some of these better online results.
Nice. awesome. And thanks again for sharing all the information about Google Ads and more importantly, the attack chihuahua that that casually ate up your pant legs. Oh man, we should have saved those pants. But anyway, thanks again, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk next time.
All right.